Okay, so I think this is better. Let's see if I can change. Let's see here. I'm going to share. Share my screen. Alright, so welcome. My first live. I tried to use OBS, but that was, I don't know. I probably need to get a new laptop. So, welcome. I don't know if anybody's here yet, but I see chat is on. Yeah, so anyways, so it looks like there's live. There's people here. I don't know. People are here. I don't know if the people are chatting, but oh, let's go with messages are invisible. Okay. My first time using this feature here. So for those who don't know, I have posted stuff online. This is a vulnerable thing for me. It's supposed to be one of those things that just I'm going to be doing. Every now and then, I don't know, maybe once a week. But the whole thing is that my hair is a little off. is I don't like being vulnerable. It just I think a lot of people go through that. But one of the things I've learned is to really just go with it. You know. So I don't know what spirit is calling me to do as of right now, but it is something with, at least for now, I'm going to share my story. Hopefully you can hear me. I think you can hear me, right? I'm going to check my audio here. Yada, yada, yada. Sometimes you never know what's going to happen. You never know with technology. But okay, so I have the volume up to the max here. So hopefully you can hear all that good stuff. I'm going to adjust my mic here 1 second here. I guess that's not working. Okay, well, I'm going to move it closer to me. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. I hope it's clear. So again, just to kind of really introduce myself, for those who don't know, my name is Jose, is on my channel. People call me Pepe. It's a nickname of mine. And this is, the purpose of this whole thing is to kind of just be as open as possible. And kind of shine in my own way. It's kind of weird not having conversations like this. It's kind of just going live and being the kind of, here, and then you all seeing my background. It's all kind of messy and all that stuff, but really just like, and this is the first time I'm doing this, so kind of like you can sense it's like really nervous. So, um, uh, yeah. So a little bit about myself. I don't really like talking about myself. Uh, uh, so I was born in the Philippines. I left when I was about 7, 8 years old, I think. And but I grew up basically like bilingual. Although the English in the Philippines is not exactly like English, I'm not trying to judge it or anything. It's not really English. It's just some things that are like they're it's not really there. But anyway, so I left when I was 8, moved to LA with my mom and my sister, and but my dad and my brother kind of stayed behind. They went to Hong Kong, but they didn't live there. So and then yeah, so I lived in LA for a bit, made friends, um, went back for a little bit, then moved to Vancouver. Richmond is my hometown. I consider it my hometown, even though I moved a lot. For me, it was a lot. It was just like kept moving, not just like within like to other cities, but although to in different countries, but also like moving a lot within the same country. It was very. I didn't like it. So I really preferred like stability, preferred like consistency and constancy and all that stuff because I made friends and all of a sudden, oh, I have to leave you. So um, the other things I'm going to share right now is like kind of like where I come from, like in terms of how I've come to this point where I'm practicing mediumship. I'm still doing music. I'm doing a bit of the tarot stuff. Astrology is just my strongest suit, I guess you can say. But it's being of service and of help to others, however I can. It's not out there. It's pretty slow. Like for those who don't know me, in terms of like if they haven't seen my chart, I have Sun and Pluto conjunction. And for those who don't know what that is, great. If you don't know, that's totally fine. If you don't know, I'm almost feeling like people should come in and chat. Like, where are you, chatty people? um, so Anyways, so I've had a lot of experiences with like trauma and abuse. Like my brother used to hit me. Looking at that, it's like a real story, right? It's like I don't hold a grudge against him anymore, but I do have like boundaries in terms of like it feels like a memory, like a distant memory. It feels like, oh, that really happened. But that's the thing when you do a lot of healing, when you do a lot of like shadow work is one of those things. But really like releasing all that patterns. I've been doing Ho'oponopono almost as consistently as possible, almost every day. I started with my dad's, the things about my dad, and it was directed at him or the aspect of him and myself. For those who know Ho'oponopono, it's wonderful meditation, which is like you repeat it, but it's like, really going through the whole thing. Um, and I don't know if it goes deeper into the subconscious because I've done shadow work where it goes deeper into meditative states. And then I moved into, anyways, going back to the whole Ho'oponopono thing. I went into then on my mom. I'm still doing this stuff about aspects of my mother into this whole thing. So, oh, I should show participants. I'm going to check this out even more. Let's see here. Moderation activity, timestamp, structure. I don't know. I'm not sure if people are able to chat here. I don't know. I don't see anything else. But um, yeah, so I guess. Oh, maybe I can do pop out chat. Maybe that might help. Does that do anything? Sorry, I'm just going to test this out too. This is also some technical stuff. Oh, I don't know. Not seeing anything. Okay. Oh, people are just listening. Okay, I guess. Okay, hello. Okay, so, anyways, so let's see what happens. I don't feel like doing. Let me see what happens here. Let me see. So, as far as you guys know, for those who know, but for those who don't know, I've been practicing mediumship on and on with this group, and so one of them is here. Hello. um, yeah, it takes a while. It is. I set it to 5 seconds in case it piles up. I could probably edit that. Hold on, let me double check here. I don't see it. Hold on. Comments on basic hold pause off. Sort by top newest. Nope. Top newest. No. Show newest. Like this stream. Okay. Let's see. Nope. I don't see that. Oh, okay. I'm going to take off slow mode. Okay, there you go. So therefore, there you go. Okay, it's done. I hope. Okay, there you go. So mode is off. Okay, chat away. Okay. um. Anyways, so let's see what's gonna happen here. I'm pretty sure that there are people who are used to this now, or those who don't know. I'm pretty sure the people in here who are in the chat now are familiar with this. They can just, what is he doing with this? The stick is sticky thing. I'm cleansing the air. So the purpose of this whole thing is to, if you're, is for those who are new or whoever gets to see this later, who it's good to cleanse the air because energetically sometimes air can be, or the energy can be blocked, and plus it smells good. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so I've been practicing mediumship, going back to this whole thing. But I also feel like apparently I've been told that it's very powerful, that I can see things, like especially when I close my eyes. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what I can get for you guys. I know that there are people who are very kind of like they get kind of into the whole energy of things. They get panicky, and or the whole thing is things just been going on, and I don't know how to put it in words. It's just nervous energy. So what do you guys think? I don't know. For those who are here, there's only two people. I see my friend, Lady Di. I'm gonna call you Lady Di. Okay, that's okay. Lady Di, the Queen. The Queen. Where the Queen? It's gonna be so awkward. This is my first live video and all that stuff, and stream and all that. So I'm like talking to myself. Has this ever happened to you guys? I dare you guys to try live streaming and talk to yourself. It's like looking at a mirror. I must come from a really old generation where it's just like, I don't know. But let's see. Okay, so back. You know what? Before I do any sort of, I don't know. I don't want to call it channeling. I don't want to call it anything else. But before I do any of that stuff, if I feel called to, because I'm not sure right now, a little bit more about myself. So I've gone through a lot of. Well, it's so weird. I don't identify as much with it anymore. The whole trauma thing. But we call this. Sorry, I'm just checking my messages here on the Facebook. Facebook. um, Actually, I'm going to close back the chat here. I think I prefer it in one window. How do I do that here? Let's see. Uh, oh, okay. Just there you go. Okay. Um, what else? Oh, so yeah, the story. So I digress. I do that a lot, by the way. So just to let you know, I tend to digress because I just like going anywhere, but I do go back. So, oh, one little thing, just the light stuff I'm gonna be sharing. I've been doing music for about 25 years, more than 25 years, and it started with actually. I was gonna say clarinet, but actually it started with the drums. Like it's just a snare drum. And I remember this one story. I remember this story. It was just like this girl there, and I'm just like, ew, girl. Ew. No offense. But it was just like my friends were like my friends. Um, I made friends in grade six, and this was grade six. This is when you start band in Canada. Usually, about grade four and five, they start you with the recorder, right? And then you go into band grade six, and then up. So if you choose to go further than that, then you do that. Mm, so funny, it by the way, it's like, where's your Canadian flag? Well, actually, I have one here. So, so, um, anyways, I was just saying funny because you see there, right there, you see the Norwegian, that's the Norwegian flag right there, and that's the Czech flag. You can't really see it right here. Um, anyways, I'll explain what that means. Why I put the flags. Because, see, I digress a lot. I told you. So, grade six, I was in band. It was my first time. And I was like, oh, my friends are playing clarinet, two of my friends. And I was like, know. So I switched because I didn't know what to choose from. I was just like, what instrument? Because we were actually given this list, this picture, like what resonates with you. Right. Literally, I remember somebody coming, I think it was a band teacher. It's like, which instrument resonates with you or something like that. They didn't say resonate back then. They said, here's the picture. Choose the picture. Choose the instrument you want. And then um, I chose it. Actually, I should have picked the bassoon because that's the one that caught my eye first. It was just like this funny looking thing that was like this. For those who don't know what a bassoon is, I'll show you what it looks like. It's a beautiful instrument. Um, I'll show you. So just look up images. Yeah, beautiful instrument. Yeah, it's like. Why does it look like a saxophone? No, it's not a saxophone. Very beautiful instrument. I play the reed instrument. I play a reed instrument as well. I did play the clarinet first, but I switched to oboe after that. And oboe was the one that resonated with me. And again, for those who don't know what an oboe looks like, it looks like this. So, yeah, it's called a double reed instrument, just like the bassoon, and it's basically, yeah. I'll explain more about it. Anyways, I went into playing that years after elementary school, which was like grade. When did I start playing oboe? I think it was grade nine. Was it grade eight? Grade nine. And funny story, not funny at that time. I played it, and then come grade 11, I basically was supposed to go because band is common in North America. It's not just Canada; it's the United States. I'm not sure if it's an American thing, but anyways, you play in band. It's all wind instruments, no orchestra. Well, there's some people who do play like the bass, like the for jazz. They added that in my high school. It was very weird. I was like, so why not have an orchestra? Anyways, they had what was this? We just all it's all wind instruments. So you have the flutes, your clarinets. There's some oboe players. There's some other types of clarinet instruments. There's a bass clarinet, and then there's the trumpets. There's some people play saxophone. That's a big. Those are common instruments. And then there's also percussion at the back. So it's hard to kind of play in tune when it's wind instruments. Usually, when you have an orchestra, they need to be in tune, um, like really in tune. That's the thing about playing in music. Sometimes it gets kind of like, especially classical music, it's very, 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 you know, accurate. It has to be like accurate. It has to be like on in tune. It has to be perfect. In a band, it wasn't. It's hard to get that right because I've seen other bands and it's just like, and so some music teachers have a hard time doing that. But my band teacher was awesome, Mr. Fromm. We call him Mr. Fromm. His last name was named after like cheese. So he's like fromage, right? The French word for cheese. And awesome teacher. He was wonderful. He was very open, very encouraging. He encouraged us a lot to basically shine, to just play around. Because I remember when I was in band, when I got into my high school and I met him the first time, it was just like I didn't know I could play other instruments, and so finally I just felt this push. I don't even know how it started. It was just like this push um, to actually play around with different instruments. I tried the E flat alto clarinet. I was already playing the soprano B flat clarinet. For those who don't know what that is, you'll see. Um, I played the bass clarinet as well, a little bit. But there was somebody else who was playing it, and just kind of just I didn't want to impose or anything. Um, but I played the oboe, and there were times where I did play the saxophone. I was playing the baritone saxophone, which is huge, like bigger than almost as big as me. It's like huge hunk of like brass instrument. It's very, very, very. You know what? I'm gonna show it to you. I'll show what it looks like. So baritone saxophone. That's what it looks like. Literally, you see, right? Look at that size of the guy. He's like pretty much his size. I used to play that. Um, and then on the side, this was actually years later when I went into playing in choirs. I transitioned from band after high school. I went into playing in choirs because I still wanted to play the instrument, but I didn't know where to play. So I played in churches, and this was when I was very, very religious. And I played the soprano saxophone. And Kenny G? Yeah, that's what he plays. He plays also the tenor saxophone, but it looks like really cool instrument. Actually, I like this shape right here. So, anyways, that's a soprano saxophone. I played that also. Um, but then going back to high school, I started playing the flute around grade 10, and that's when I started to realize, oh, I actually like this instrument, and that's when I played the flute. I played in church as well, and that kind of got better a little bit, but I didn't really know how to master the tone and the color of it until much later. So I did that. I did music, so I've been doing that for a long time. I've been playing all of these instruments. Today, as you can see in my channel, for those who don't know, going to my channel, it's you'll see I flute there. I've also transitioned to the guitar now. That's why I have these long nails. Yeah. It's for classical guitar. It's like for those who play the folk guitars, is it what it's called, or the what do you call it, acoustic guitars? They use like a pick. It looks like a teardrop sort of shape, and it's like that's what they use. Same thing for the mandolin. Anyways, I digress. So I've been playing music for a long time. Then I also did languages because I got interested in languages. Um, Apparently, all of this is a past life stuff, past lives. Apparently, I've been good at past lives. I've been good at music and languages in past lives. So, anyways, um, what else is there? So yeah, I started actually, to be honest. So I was raised bilingual, and I was what do you call this? I was raised bilingual, and then I went into my third language, which was what was it? Oh well, French was my third language technically, and then my fourth was Cantonese. Yes, Cantonese from the one that was spoken in Hong Kong. That's where I started with Cantonese through my friends. I had friends from Hong Kong, and it just kind of just grew from there. My god sister, who's still very Catholic to this day, I'm pretty sure. Um, she was my god sister. She was, Catholic, so she's from Hong Kong. Or what back then she used to call it CBC. Oh, hi CBC lah. I'm a CBC, like Canadian born Chinese. Um, and so that's how it continued. But then it stopped after I left high school. I moved to another city. Um, then I went into, oh, actually, sorry, I forgot to mention. After Cantonese, I went into Japanese, then Korean. And then after high school, I went into Spanish, German, then Norwegian. German and Norwegian were kind of at the same time. No. German first, and then Norwegian. And then after Norwegian was Danish. And then it just kind of piled on from there. Right. So yeah, so that's my history in terms of like what I did, what I love to do. I still do that. Later, I got into swimming, which was back in 2013. The friends that I was close with, or who I considered were like my sisters, actually, we had a falling out because I wasn't being honest with them, and I wasn't just wasn't honest with myself and what I was feeling. I needed to find myself. I was kind of felt constricted, like doing their thing versus like my thing. And I didn't realize that it's not what, like I was in choirs, but it wasn't my thing. I was just like, I don't mind singing, but it's just kind of like, it's not really my thing. It doesn't really make me resonate. It doesn't, is that right? It doesn't resonate with me. So, anyways, we had a falling out. That was like a heartbreak for me because they were like family. And then after the whole thing, it actually it was weird because it was like this crash. It was like this huge, like complete, like it was like, did that just fucking happen? Like what? And I remember in being in Rome in a hotel, crying my eyes out because I was just like, what the hell that just happened? What the hell? Right. And I don't know. It was like a long story short. I was there, and then after crying it out all night, I woke up the next day, and it's just like, huh, interesting. I felt this weight lifted off. At the same time, it was just like, not that they were gone, but it was like I wasn't. It wasn't because I was happy they were gone. It's more like it made room for things that I wanted to do, which in a way is to say that they were gone, but something replaced it. Although there were still a lot of subconscious issues. I started finding more time for myself and what I wanted to do. Well, I got too serious with swimming. I got into swimming, and actually, I would share my. Actually, do I even have a? Hold on. Let's see if I can find the post. I don't know if I posted anything on my channel here about swimming. I'm not sure. If I don't post it today, I'll post it some other time or we talk about it next time. But anyways, I don't want to need to prove anything. But I was in a swim team, and then um, I took it so seriously. But I did apparently really well. Like I mean, I got like we didn't get like medals because it's master swimming, but you do get like, these grades and all that stuff. And it was just like I got silver, I got gold, I got bronze. Pretty much all the races that I've been to, like the swim meets, I got like at least third place, and I was proud of that. But here's the thing: although I enjoyed it and I lost a lot of weight gradually, I was trying to prove myself, and it wasn't something I was happy with in terms of like that whole proving yourself. Instead of just enjoying the water, I was like trying to prove myself. Even with teaching, sometimes I would like get angry inside and have this sort of like resentment. It's like, I'm a teacher. Why don't you? And then surprisingly, last year, was it earlier? earlier this year, my parents had a friend. They were telling me about like, oh, he's a teacher, da 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 da, da. And I was just like, okay, it kind of didn't really matter anymore. I was just like, oh, okay. So I've gotten past that stuff, right? So I definitely have evolved, definitely have changed over time, and yeah. So and shadow work has been kind of on and off. For those who don't know what shadow work is, it's really going to the subconscious and issues that when we project onto others, when we point fingers, for example, three point back at us, right? That's kind of like the shadow. It's the part of us that we don't want to be. So there's stuff that is done, like when it comes to shadow work, you do work on yourself. You do work on um, this journey that you're into. It's not so much about finding your purpose. It's more about like really healing the damage that it's really when we give ourselves over, like our power over to other people. And so I did that a lot. I was like a people pleaser. Funny term, right? People pleaser. PP. Oh, actually, that sounds funny. Okay, PP. That's funny. Anyways, for those who don't know me that well, I did that a lot too. I digress. Um, and yeah. So, anyways, so that's that. That's that. Then I got into astrology. Actually, back in 2010, I got into it. Somehow, it just called me. I'm just like, I saw this book. Actually, I show you the book that I got first. My first ever book. This one, Illustrated an Astrology Bible by Judy Hall, and it's a wonderful book to start with if you want to, if you're interested in astrology. But I realized it's like I was just going through it, but I was reading like kind of like a regular book, like a story, what it means and all that stuff. But I started to realize later, it's like, do I need to memorize this stuff? Because I didn't really like memorizing. In fact, I don't. So this to this day, I don't like memorizing. Just like why? And so the same thing I do for languages. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any translation. I don't do memorizing. I don't do any of the traditionalized ways of doing things. I don't do any of that stuff. I just want to do things the way children do. Just have fun, be exposed to it as much as I can. If I can meet people and just like hang around with them, just real exposure. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of like my journey of today. And then last year, the pandemic happened, and that was quite heavy for me. It was devastating. That's not even the right word for that. It was like fucking traumatizing. Like it's a reminder of the other trauma that I went through. But then for some reason, out of it came this whole like this release of just like, oh, I'm not that afraid anymore. And I decided to go like, oh, there's this mediumship I wanted to do, this course that I wanted to take on mediumship. And I took it. It's by Suzanne Giesman. Learned a lot from that course, and to this day I'm still practicing it. I didn't realize that all these visions I had in my head were just like um, it was it wasn't just visions. It was weird. It was just like I'm seeing things from like even if I were to do it right now, which I'm going to probably in soon, it's just like I see things that are just like, who is that coming from? Right? Even I don't know if I'm picking up things from people upstairs because I live in the basement and there are people upstairs. I'm not sure if I will pick up things from their story, but literally I see things that are I don't imagine them. I'm not like thinking about them. Just like random pictures. There are some that I do think about, and I realize that now. It's just like, oh, okay, those are my thoughts. Those are my imagination. But a lot of the times it's not. So it's weird. Um, Again, it depends, right? Because spirit doesn't. We call it this way. For those who don't know mediumship, we have this terminology when you say, "Oh, spirit does this," right? Um, and there's that. And there's an ego side, by the way, to it that wants to go, "You are channeling," because for me, it's just this whole. Why I'm laughing is because it's like the ego is funny. The ego is this childlike thing that wants to get things right. He's afraid of dying. He's afraid of many things. He doesn't want to disappear. All those things, right? And even right now, the ego is sort of playing through. Doesn't want to be vulnerable. It's better to just give advice rather than be vulnerable. And that's one of the things. I'm going to keep doing this, not because I want to. To be honest, I don't really want to do this. I just want to be in the background and be hidden. But I'm being called to do it, and I'm going to do it. So, can be scary as shit. But yeah. So that's the story. That's the whole gist. I know that was a long-winded story, but I don't think I'm going to do that again because it's not because so it's not so much about vulnerability. It's more about for you guys to be like, oh, he's yapping away. But anyways, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to start out simple. Let's try the tarot cards. I have my basic tarot deck. For those who don't, this is the common one, the Rider tarot deck, apparently. I only have 3 decks, and I'm just trying to build it, but let's see what happens. I'm actually getting good at flipping, what do you call that? Shuffling the cards. Like I used to not be able to do this when you go like the two decks and you go like this. I used to not be able to do that. Now it's like, it's gotten much better. Let's see what happens. By the way, for those who didn't, I don't know who else is here, but I do see one. I only see one person, Lady Di. What do you call it, Lady Di? What was this? The other video I was trying to try with through OBS didn't really work. It was slowing things down, and it was like, and so I just switched to this regular one because I was like, I wanted you to only see the black background right here, but. It's the age of Aquarius, or age of Aquarius. Wait, it's the age of Aquarius, so why hide anything? Keep it real. And P.S. I do laugh at everything. It's part of my upbringing as a Filipino. I laugh at my own jokes. Okay, let's see what happens here. Uh-huh. It just popped out. Ooh, 4 cards popped out. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what we got here. Could be for me, could be for anyone, but if you resonate with this, it's great. So first I see the 7 of Pentacles. So it feels like hard work is kind of like dry. It feels like this feeling of like, I don't know what else to do. Like I'm stuck in here. Like I'm bored. This feeling of boredom. I don't know if people are doing this. Oh, hi, Patty. So it's this feeling of boredom, feeling of like there's no progress. It's just nothing's happening. This could be more of a past thing, like a past life thing, or past expressions, past experiences. Again, I'm just really winging it right now. And that's what I'm sensing right now, which is something to do with boredom. I'm just like observing, waiting for the flowers to bloom, yada yada. So that's what I'm getting. Next card I got here is the 7 of Swords. Wow, another 7. Okay. 7 of Swords. I've had this before where kind of like looking at your abilities and finding yourself kind of how do you call this? It feels like people are, or I don't know about me, because I don't feel this is for myself. Looking, yeah, a little bit, yeah, looking at the abilities that I've had, things that I've conquered, that things that I'm like into, and looking back and saying that I have something to be proud of. But there's something looking behind. He's looking back at the 2 swords, so it feels like he's kind of looking back. It's like, what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? Right? And he's kind of like in a way he's kind of proud of it, but at the same time he's looking back and he wants more. It's almost like there's a bit of flower, like a tendency, like a feeling of greed, not so much greed, but more like I want to accomplish more. It's a perfectionist sort of feel, right? It's kind of true because coming from the age of Pisces, that was a very idealistic energy, right? In the last 2,000 years, it was like, we got to get everything perfect, got to get everything perfect. And I was like, well, obviously, no, that's not the thing anymore, or at least that's what we're heading towards. Age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Yes. I'm probably, for those who haven't seen, so inappropriate. But I want to laugh at it. And that's one of the things I want to share here with you guys is like having humor, having fun with the process. Um, yeah. So, oh, okay. Lady Di said like trapped in the house. Okay, that kind of makes sense, right? So, yeah, that makes sense. But this one's again with the whole like skill set or abilities or gifts or things that we receive, things that we've accomplished. Um, Looking back at that, this one is showing this Two of Cups, learning to share with people, finding balance between masculine and feminine energies, and kind of like you see that lion head with the angel wings feels a lot like this. I don't know if this is for me. I feel like it is. Me. Um, so you can see that. Hopefully you can see that right there. So it's this balance of the ground, what do you call this? The carnal self with the higher self. I feel like there's a balance between the masculine and feminine, but at the same time, like your lower side, your lower chakras and your upper chakras. And you can see there right here, like the snake right here. It looks like Mercury's snake, like the medicinal snakes or healing. I believe that we're healing as we go up, but at the same time acknowledging what's below. Meaning, the whole what is that the in witchcraft in Wicca they have. Somebody can type it up. That's great. It's the as above, so below. Thank you. Nobody typed it, but that's fine. I got it. So as above, so below. The balance of those things. So balance of the masculine, feminine. What else do I see here? Probably also embracing. If you see her face, I can sense in her that she's kind of more like the. Should I open up? Should I feel like should I give in to trusting people? Maybe he's not really giving in, and the masculine's kind of moving. His legs are a bit more active, typical. But he's also saying, should I hide myself? Um, should I be a bit more softer, right? Because it's like that kind of balance between the two, right? Based on what they're wearing, the feminine is kind of like has a block. She has this sort of like a what do you call that part of the robe? I don't know what it's called. Tunic, part of her tunic. Anyways, she has a sort of a block thing. So I believe that's something to do with trust issues between our inner selves, our inner masculine, inner feminine, and really learn to balance that. And I'm going to show off saying this that, as a gay man, as a queer person, I think we learned that, and I think we kind of had to learn that because it's like it's yeah, I don't know, maybe it is that's what it is. I don't know. I don't want to sound exclusive, but at the same time, we did. Like as queer men, as gay men, it's kind of like that's how we get into drag. Or for those who are comfortable enough in their bodies, we get into drag and be like, oh, grrr, right? To those who said that, somebody said that. Somebody type it up. I don't know. Somebody said, oh, grrr. And I forgot it was. For those who don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I recommend watching some of it. Some of it is kind of like it brings you down, but then you'll still realize because I love the way RuPaul hosts the show, like the way he shows others how to heal through embracing both your sides, right? At least sexuality wise, it's embracing that. So it's a beautiful thing. Sounds like a song. No, it's not a song. I remember. For those who have a song that sounds like beautiful thing, go ahead type it in the chat if you want to. Hierophant. Is it Hierophant? Hierophant? Okay, this is number one. Not the last thing that I got. The Hierophant feels like it's about your own inner majesty, your own sort of where you're heading. It's kind of like the finger just pointing up this way. She's looking up like this. It's almost like trusting. I'm not really sure. Uh, but kind of like standing your ground, having sort of this sense of inner justice, this inner feeling of how do you call this? It's like what is it? Magnanimosity, if that's the word for that, sort of like that, but also standing kind of proud and with your chin up, and even though people will follow you, whether or not people follow you is not the problem. It's more like you have the keys. You see that there's the keys to the kingdom. This is, I believe, related to the keys. I don't know, for those who know the Vatican, they have that keys. I think it's the keys of St. Peter's or something, religion-wise, religiously speaking. But this represents the keys. So the keys to your, and I noticed there's two of them, and there's two sides to this. So I feel like it's tying back to the whole balance thing, right? There's two sides to that, and sometimes usually balancing the polarity that we're living in now. Right? So Cardi B, thank you. Yeah. So so those are the cards that's come up today. I don't feel like the oracles are needed today. So okay. So there's a card. Let's see what we got. Usually I'd like to reverse it where it's like the I get the readings from the messages, but I don't know. Let me see. Okay, well, let's give it a try. Okay. See what I get from the visions. Okay, right away I see someone. It's kind of like an emperor figure. He's kind of pouring water in a goblet, and there's this like very demure kind of woman saying, "Thank you," like this, and they're kind of dressed in a very comic book kind of way. Like it's, I don't know. It feels kind of like that. There's someone on this side right here, like someone who's looking back in his beard. He has a beard, like a really like kind of like an older looking gentleman. He's kind of looking back at him. It's like kind of like, what are they doing? Let me see what that kind of signifies. See, I feel like some things are coming out of his mouth, like he's smoking. So it's kind of like it feels like a message of what do you call that? Um, Obscurity. Like there's things that are being obscured, or rather, the guy pouring the cup is kind of like, I don't know if that's an imbalance. Like he's in a higher position. Like he's kind of like, I don't. Okay, he's like on the steps. There's steps towards the center of the room, towards like not a throne, kind of like that. And then, but he's serving her, or he's pouring water or pouring wine in her cup. But the older guy is kind of expressing like there's smoke coming out. I'm gonna go back to that. So I don't know if there's something to do with smoke itself for those who, I don't know, because we are going through a lot of that today. There's still like maybe smoke coming out, or maybe something to do with people smoking, habits to break, smoke, fire, forest fires. Okay. The older generation possibly that have been kind of looking back and looking into the shift in behavior, the shift in polarity, where it's more like the women have more say now, and the men are, not to say that they're subservient, but it's more like this whole feeling of like, okay, let's do it this way, where it's like I'm the kingly in a kingly like sort of position, but is actually serving those what would be stereotyped as below him kind of thing. That this the sexism and the gender stereotypes of the past. Okay, see like mirroring, but I see mirroring of like it's kind of like a huge like wreath. So it's like kind of it's kind of like part of the mirror. I feel like this is time to go into shadow work, more into like yourself. But I feel like things are coming out. I see something's coming out of the mirror. I don't know what it is. A stream of water? I'm not sure. I feel like it's a stream of water. It feels like flow will come through when we look into ourselves, when we look at what we're trying to mirror, what we're trying to reflect in others, or what we see in others that reflect to us. I'm seeing the Roman numeral number 5 or V, something to do with V. I don't know if people are getting that. So if you resonate with number 5 in numerology, I believe that's something to do with foundational things. Okay, I see some sort of creatures. Like from the V, it's almost like creatures coming out. So I guess the foundational stuff is the healing. There's that whole thing that's coming out, like demons coming out, or like I don't know if you know gargoyle statues. It's kind of like that, but they look kind of like demon like. There's some that are lizards. So I don't know if it's literal or figurative or both. Okay, you see a hallway, some sort of like corridor hallway. Mm. I feel like there's people carrying jugs, and I see someone carrying like an eagle or a falcon beside them. They're carrying jugs. I feel like maybe there's things to bring forward into the new life or into new earth. People who are aware of that new earth, this shift that's happening. I feel like something is bringing forward. Because the jugs often represent also knowledge, water, Aquarius. The eagle is like that rise in your own sovereignty. Eagles often represent freedom, just like birds do. You see like a couple holding hands, one's a guy, one's a girl, and they're kind of just like it looks like kind of they're just playing around, but they're kind of running, but at the same time, kind of like frolicking at the same time. So it feels like more like a balance of that masculine feminine energy. Kind of ties in with the cards. Okay, that's good. Oh, I see congregation. So congregation looks like a church, but it's not a church. I don't see a central cross figure, and I think it's sort of like the masses coming together and seeing what's ahead. I feel like that's the message right now. I see people hugging. I see people shaking hands, hugging, sharing gifts. Some people have flowers, and but they seem to be all wearing like kind of robes, kind of like nuns. So a sense of sanctity, a sense of purity or sanctity, or some sort of like oneness, and they're all kind of pushing back something. I don't know if they're burying somebody or they're pushing back something like through a tube. It's almost like they're realizing they're celebrating. I don't know. It feels like they're celebrating something or commemorating something of the past or something like. Feels like a royal, someone who's of noble blood being buried or something, but he's like in a tube somehow. It feels like towards the future, but I feel like it's a tube because a tube that feels like it's from into the future. It's really weird, but it's like Okay, he's like being buried. He's like this, and then he's like a red carpet. Like there's a kind of a red carpet, and he's in it, but it's like a tube. It's like one of those mail tubes. I don't know what those things are. It's kind of like that, but it's towards a specific direction, and or it's into somewhere. I don't know. Um, see things like falling. I don't know what this is. Some sort of like oval shaped thing falling off, and it's revealing some sort of like it's kind of like a like a I don't know if it's a medallion or some kind of like necklace. Some sort of revealing a picture of someone. So I think something to do with revealing things. Something is going to be revealed. Okay. I think that ties in more with what I was told before myself. So I'm sure it applies to other people as well. Okay, I see two. I don't know if they're teens. Or they're wearing some kind of robe, ceremonial robe, and they're standing by beside a door, and they're kind of pulling the curtains back, and someone's coming in. I don't know what it is. Kind of someone tall. I wonder what that means. Like welcoming of a new age, welcoming of something. But the fact that they're quite short, but the ones coming in is tall, so it feels like welcoming something different, something great, something bigger than us. But they also have crowns. They look like they have crowns too. That's interesting. It's kind of like our own sovereignty is going to also welcome new sovereignty, if that makes sense. You see someone in a I don't know what I don't know what this is. It's like a it looks like a speaker, like a kind of like an amp or something. There's a cat over it. It's funny. Then also you seem kind of like dragon-like, serpent, lizard-like creatures, but it's in a bedchamber of some sort. I feel like this has a lot to do with our own sense of royalty, our own sense of sovereignty, our own sense of standing in our power with the whole serpent thing, the whole image of serpents, but also represents like I feel like changes, but also sovereignty with the cat and amplifying it. Okay, interesting. And the bedchamber looks like it's very like for a noble person. So again, that whole nobility thing, like finding your own inner cat, inner feline, inner lion. I guess maybe this ties into what I'm doing too, but I'm sure it applies to everyone else. Okay, I see a twin. They're twins. They're kind of like curly, frizzy kind of hair. They just got out of bed, but they're looking at each other. Let's go. Let's enjoy life. Feels like they're smiling and ready to jump, like ready to tackle and face the new day. Feels like this new change is coming through, and it's like we're supposed to celebrate it. A lot of the time, seeing is like a lot of gold, a lot of like precious things. Feels like there's something precious within us, like our inner home, our inner sanctum, that needs to come out. That inner gold, that inner nobility, which actually ties in with the last card. Interesting. Okay, I see an eye, so I feel like we're being watched. Okay, we're being watched, and we're seeing. When we're seeing, we're aware. A lot of gold, a lot of like anything that reminds you of royalty. A lot of someone kneeling, but then they're told to come back up. It's like no more, no more. What do you call this? Being lesser than everyone or greater than everyone. We are all equal. I feel like that's the message there. Okay, I see. Oh, okay, I see an alien figure. Okay, the eyes turn into. Okay, getting goosebumps just thinking about this and seeing it. It's like the big head and very beady, like really black eyes, kind of like that. And they're observing, they're seeing. Some kind of tend to sit on the throne. There's a throne that I'm seeing. They're sitting on it. They're also kind of like wondering, like, what are you doing there? Look back, come here. And kind of like, so it feels like there's still going to be lessons of um, shadow lessons regarding our own inner power, even when even with these connections that we'll be having with our own galactic family. For those who don't know, galactic family is, in this case, it's just our inner selves, our higher selves, or different selves of our aspects of ourselves from different lives, because it's all really the same thing. It's just when we come into this life as humans, it's a different energy. It's a little denser energy. So the galactic family isn't just like these aliens, so to speak. But yes, there's also that. See a fireplace, but it's empty. Is like the fireplace needs to be lit. So the inner fire that needs to come through, inner fire that needs to be lit again, that passion and drive, but without being too much. Because I see a car being kind of buried. So instead of like being the instead of just driving through life, we need to allow for it to happen. If that makes sense. Mm. I see a father and a son hugging. I guess it feels like there's more understanding and compassion, and just at least being not necessarily purely objective, but like understanding that everyone has a role, that we're all in this together. And I feel like this ball coming out of this thing that's coming out, I don't know what it's like, a seed of life. It's like a seed. I don't know what it is. Very weird. It's like a red ball coming out of this fountain. It's rising up from it. Red ball, so I feel like that's tied to the lower chakras, undressing the lower chakras, but at the same time rising above that. It's a little strange. Interesting. Oh, the red with the Hierophant, that mixes in with that one. So red balancing, because I seen gold, so gold has a lot to do with apparently like color of ascension, the higher chakra here. But then the red is like feels like it's the lower chakra, so addressing both, right? Okay, okay. I think that's. Huh. I see a cake. So I'm enjoying the piece of cake. So maybe having your cake and eat it too. Okay. I hope we get the message though. Okay. Whew. All right. Okay. That's that. So I hope that was helpful. I know it's just my first video, first live, and I think that's it for now. We'll see what happens next time. I hope that was kind of a good message for some of you. There's only technically three of us here, which is okay, totally fine. Um, like I said, I'm just sharing and looking forward to the next time. Maybe I'll be changing up my flags. So, kanskje neste gang. Same thing I just said earlier, but in Norwegian. But I think that's it. So yeah, I'm kind of like out of it right now. So that's good. Okay, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming. If there's any questions you'd like to pose, any questions that you have for me, you can actually type it in. Maybe we can have this as a kind of a questions. Ooh, 111. I just saw the time. Wonderful. Any questions? Pae, pae, Lady Di. Any questions? Questions. Question. Har du någon spørsmål? Just gonna wait till the questions come up. I think that's a good idea, right? To have questions near the end. I don't know. Ask anything. Anything you want. Even personal things too. I don't mind sharing it now. Although not my, not anything like security wise, obviously. Any questions? Question anyone? I'm just reshuffling my cards. Squinting. I've been told that when I go to these circles that I go to, that apparently I do this because I can't see my screen sometimes. I'm so close to my laptop. I go like this. So if there aren't any questions, I'm going to close it soon. I hope that was fun. We didn't do any astrology today, which is totally fine. No questions? Anyone? I'm going to go make something to eat, by the way. So maybe next time I'll also do some cooking stuff as well. You never know. So, okay. I'm going to give it about 1 more minute and see if there's any questions that Pae and Lady Di has. It's just a chat. It's just me talking to. Well, I'm talking to you guys, but yeah. I almost forgot. Happy Thanksgiving to my American friends. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay. So no questions? No questions? Ingen spørsmål? Ingen? Sorry. Oh, thanks, Lady Di. Patrice, I'm gonna post music again. Making time for it. Actually, I'll have more time this weekend, because it's. Thank you for your. I love that fact that you guys have your Thanksgiving, because that gives me days off from work, so I have time to post more music. So, yeah, it was a kind of offbeat music too. It wasn't necessarily like. It was hard to put things together. Anyways, it's just how it is. It was cool. I just went with it. Oh, krrr. Anything else? No? Ingen spørsmål? Har du ingen spørsmål? Well, Lady Di, I think you're also. How's the Arabic thing going? Yalla, yalla. Oh, gobble, gobble. Okay. Thanks, Maddie. Okay. Yalla. Okay, yalla. I should get into Arabic. Wait, it is. Okay, good to see you guys. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. For those who I'm seeing tomorrow, I'm seeing tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. And otherwise, thank you very much. Very much enjoyed this. While sharing at least and being vulnerable. Oh gosh. And then see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.